Good morning, everybody. Glad to be back. Let's get settled down here. The rain was impressive. A lot of flooding, a lot of drowned cars, wet people. Anyway, that's the weather. You can't change it. All right. Let's see what's happening here. Yes. All right. So I see yesterday some markets continued their advance. And so we got some unfilled gaps down below. And void, distance from the 20 MA. Momentum is slowed. Distance between the highs. Choppy consolidation there after the move up. Little gap up, choppy consolidation. And now prices are opening lower. I still haven't been able to figure out why this isn't updating this 5-minute chart pre-market. But anyway, we'll get to it. So gapping down in the middle. I'm looking at my other system, gapping down in the middle of yesterday's range. No big deal. And it's not like it's gapping below yesterday's low. And what was it? It was down around 745 before. I guess the pre-market low was a little bit lower. So, looks like it's losing its momentum for the moment. There's consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock, so be aware of that. I don't know if it'll be a market mover or not. Other economic reports have been, if the data is real or not, I guess time will tell. It's been shifting toward the potential for getting the rate cut. Last I looked, was like a 65% probability of a quarter point in September. So, whatever. This thing changes. Weekly chart is up, wide range bar. So we'll see where this ends the day today. And, because we've got this 3-week consolidation and a wide range bar breakout, does it stay in the upper half? You see where the cursor is on the daily chart is an unfilled gap. And that little shelf right there of support, that would be where any pullback should find buyers. So we'll see how that plays out. One of the things, to put things in perspective, we talk about, breadth. Look at the breadth here. It's just freaking awful for, you look at a market here, new all-time highs, S&P new all-time highs, and breadth is under the zero line. So, darn well that there's the same old story, some big cap stocks moving things. When you look at equally weighted Qs, no new all-time high. It could turn out to be a double top, or we don't know, or is it a consolidation absorbing supply, getting ready for an advance up above? So when I titled the opening slide, are the markets starting a correction or is it over? The Qs may be starting a correction in the S&P, we'll see. But maybe breadth will start to expand and this might start moving up. I mean, we'll have to see. A couple of days ago, when I was looking at different stocks, like what's moving here today, because Apple is like going to the moon. And there was a lot of bottoming patterns. Now, the question is, do they continue to bottom? Do they start to advance? Do they fall apart? We don't know. So, these type of sideways movements tell us that, there's indecision, but this broke down into this support level on the weekly chart and it retraced 100%. So far, it's going sideways. There's a couple of bottoming tail bars. So we would initially say, this is a downside shakeout that should resolve itself to the upside. Now, time will tell. So as we look around, let me just show you this first. And I'm going to, want to reinforce something here. So you look at the equally weighted S&P 500. There's no new all-time highs. It broke lower. It came up. It's a lower high. Is it flagging? Is it going to break? I don't know. You don't know because this pattern doesn't produce, what Dan and I talked about. Is there any tells here? No, no, there's no wide range bars. There's no big topping tail bars. There's no big bottoming tail bars. There's no wide range 180s, but, it's trending up. It had a relatively deep retracement. It's come back up again and it's just going nowhere. So, from the perspective of what's under the hood, maybe getting ready to play some catch up, or is, if the semiconductors start pulling back in a bigger way and other tech stocks, do things start to pull in harder than what we perceive right now as to just a consolidation. So, time is going to tell. So, we put all of this in perspective to not get too caught up in, this is too bullish, this is too bearish, so on and so forth. We just continue to look for opportunities and, look at the broader markets because, we know things aren't in alignment everywhere, of course, to support, an all-out bullish attitude. It's not there. But that's okay as long as we recognize that. Transports so far are holding their own, not to break down under these lows. We'll see how that does in the coming days. Moving averages are pointing down. The other day I pointed out this death cross. We kind of joked about it. Is that this a death cross buy? I don't know. It popped up there and it got knocked back down. So we'll see, how this unfolds. Is it here? No, this is just the Dow, which looks like it. I don't know. It's just a giant mess. Just another representation of under the hood. Not many. You don't have a broad participation. Okay, fine. Is what it is. Our futures just chopping sideways. Little, obviously, move lower here. So consolidating, not a big deal on the daily chart. We got this minor support. You can see right there. And, a major support, the pivot low prior to a higher high over here. And this consolidation should be able to hold up, initially on any pullback. Basic 101 analysis. It's in an uptrend and it was consolidating. It went up. We talked about staying above the middle of the wide range bar a week ago and the beginning of last week. It did that, bottoming tail bar. As news comes out, it's moving up and now it's just resting, on the daily chart and pulling back, rather relatively sharply here intraday. I'm looking for some other chart here that I had marked up. That's not it. You can see it's extended. Let's look at the Russell. That looks like it's heading lower, right? The markets went up and all of a sudden everybody is buying hands over fist and it was a one-day wonder. Now it's back down, closing below all of these prior closes. So on this time frame, it is on this pivot on the hourly chart. Buyers are stepping up there. We'll see if they want to continue that or not. Financials, been weaker. And that's a problem as far as, the broader markets and the S&Ps. Financials not participating, transport's not participating. But what's participating is giving the illusion of, a super strong bull market, new all-time highs. It's not the case. SMHs, moving up here, pop up, gap up. And let's see where they're opening. They're opening slightly down. SPY chart, I think we looked, maybe not. So here's the SPY chart. Oh, thank you. This is what I was talking about. And if you remember our conversations pre-market, I pointed out this head and shoulders top. And I explained about head and shoulders tops, their distribution patterns. Of course, we need confirmation of any pattern to see if it breaks down below. It's called the neckline here. And I said, when these patterns fail, it was one of my lessons a few decades ago. recognizing one of the, following the news, looking at a weekly chart of Dell Computer before it went private. But it was a giant article about Dell and how they were in such trouble. The weekly chart's a giant head and shoulders top. They got problems. And I looked at that, I was like, all right, great. Let's see what's going to happen. We can take advantage of this thing breaking down. And it did exactly like this. Not exactly, but it was a weekly chart. The idea is these patterns fail. And my comment that was when they fail, they tend to fail violently because this pattern signals distribution in a bearish point of view, signaling lower if it breaks. And if that reverses, well, sellers become buyers, whether they're short covering or new buyers come in, and it's a violent reaction. So now we start over again. Same story. Here's support. There's an unfilled gap, so on and so forth. It's opening up. Let me just double check here. Things moving around. It's about in the same spot. It's opening up. Well, we'll see, 540-ish, 540-ish in a little bit. So it's opening up near the bottom of yesterday's bottoming tail so far. No, Robert, it's not. Instead of a head and shoulders, maybe it's a rectangle. When we are observing it in the moment of what it is, there's no illusion. It is a head and shoulders top. Just like if we look at things that are M tops or what have you, every pattern according to how MTS trading plan dictates is you need confirmation. What is confirmation? At a minimum, trading under a prior bar's low or above a prior bar's high. Once you get the signal in a bigger pattern, it's got to break and close below the neckline. So we still recognize that patterns fail. So a rectangle, right, yes, has multiple pivot lows and pivot highs that are opposing each other. But, true rectangle, you don't get that breakout failure in the middle, the head, and then the shoulder. So, it's just a pattern. Don't think more than what you see on the chart. Right? Recognize that, hey, okay, I see what it is. I know what it means. Does it get confirmation or not? And, it stops you from, thinking too much. That's the problem. We tend to think too much, overthink it to make sure, we'll never have a losing trade. Well, you know what? We say it day in and day out, money management takes care of, a lot of uncertainty. All right. So SPX, I didn't do yesterday since I wasn't here. Remember the other day it was up here. I said it's never going to get up there with the disclaimer. Never even got close. That was on this day. And so now, whether this 10 o'clock number moves things enough, it's opening down here. We'll see how things move. But, you got this resistance area now. It's going to open down here. And to come down at this level, there's plenty of support. I think it's unlikely it touches either one. But, let's see which way things move first on. Right? So we covered transports. Oil is, deep retracement. So, all of these numbers that they come out with, oh, this excludes energy, and so look at this number that makes it better. So let's give the data that we need to make things look better. Anyway, oil broke down. It's working on a breakdown failure. We'll see if it goes sideways. What is it going to do with these resistance and converging moving averages? Getting a wide range bar here. Interest rates. What a nut house of price action. We talked about the buy, over here, go for back far enough. The thought was it was going to come up, to this 5% level. It didn't. On the buy setup, topping tail, bottoming tail, wide range bar down. Now it looks like, it should come down here, down near 4%. So far, looks like that's in the cards. So just a lot of uncertainty and mixed messages, and as it goes with no, but the 13 week is just flatlining here, so no indication of anything there. Other things, and I'm going to turn it over to Dan here. KRE regional banks are a mess so far. They're holding support. They're at the bottom of the trading range. We'll see if buyers want to show up or not. And other things looking around. Internet, sell setup, bottom of a trading range down here. Well, these are the things we'll be keeping an eye on, each day pre-market, and of course in the letters to update everybody as things begin to unfold. The dollar is up, of course. Cutting interest rates. Other Europe and whatever just starting to cut interest rates pushes those currencies lower, helps support the dollar. You see the euro, nosediving here. And I think there's some elections going on there. There's this guy in France, Macron. I don't know what he's doing here. I got to read some of the articles, but I have some friends that are from Paris, and they fly back and forth. And people, the French people, a lot of them, the ones I know, have the same mindset as many people here. It's like, how the F did this guy get elected? Whether it's Biden or Macron or any of these people. And let's see if they push him out. And what are we going to do here in November? All right, Dan, take it away.
Good morning. Happy zero DTE day. Not many earnings, but we'll look at the usual suspects. Greg, it's not switching over. All right, there. All right, so I see Netflix gapping up here today. And this, I said yesterday, was my most favorite new swing FANG stock. It's bullish consolidation. And this is also a good example of potential MTOP versus bullish consolidation breakout. And there's a lot of evidence with these individual bars, the rising 20, that it was more bullish weekly, monthly. So I'll be watching that on a pullback for directional and put spread. I'm getting the earnings. So Adobe, I did not get filled, but I was trying to do a condor. That's a monster gap up, but I was looking at the 550s. So still, despite this big old gap, $20 away. But it's big excess. It's a bull again. It's a very, very bullish gap, but excessive, and just my vanilla bias. 30-minute low, zero DTE call spread. So that's a bias, and we'll see how it sets up. Hitty. I remember we bought this over here, and it just didn't go anywhere, but no pattern. How up and down, cheap stock, no interest. So yeah, I did a condor on this myself out of the money. I forget how far away, I think 350s and the 230s. So yeah, it is a bearish gap as of right now. I have $7 of cushion. Same old. I just got to wait 5 minutes, let spreads tighten, and hopefully I have a gain. I think I sold them for 85 cents. And this is just miscellaneous stuff. Yeah, there you Whiskey Mike, I had a down alarm. We put on a couple of shorts yesterday. This was one, SYY, nice breakdown and a downtrend. UNP, we shorted. That looks great. And, Greg mentioned we talked about tells and breakouts and breakdowns. This is a perfect one. So it's a big move down. It's bearish consolidation. And I have two tails, 180, topping tail range expansion. So we shorted that yesterday morning. And look at the 15-minute chart. That's a bearish end of day base. It looks great for weakness. DXCM, another similar one, topping tail. So that is a short under yesterday's low. Sam Ian gave me AGR. That's a bear 1, 2, 3. And short yesterday's low. Hasbro got an upgrade. That's a put spread idea under yesterday's low. UHS. Aichi bull rectangle. 1, 2, 3 weekly. All-time highs, it looks like monthly. So that looks great. I have an alarm. Netflix talked about Casey. Wow, I missed this one. Or no, I didn't. It had earnings and it ran too much. But now it's a 1, 2, 3 with a bullish 15. That would be a 0 DTE and also a put spread over this, just eyeballing here, maybe over 379. Amarex. Aichi gave me. I have an alarm at 710. That looks good. Wide range breakout, 50% pullback. Let's set the alarm on the other computer. PME. Making the turn here, has some resistance here, but you got a buy set up on the weekly. So I said ideally you get a 1, 2, 3, but I'll set an alarm now since it's gapping down. 1485. This is a Aichi idea. Zulu Sierra. That's a bullish gap over that red bar. There's no pattern now, but what got my attention is this monthly. And I remember talking about this inverse head and shoulders for a core. I don't know if I gave it or not, but I go back and look on the daily chart around here and see if you've got an entry. But now it's a buy setup, but the daily, I need this thing to calm down and give me an entry. So I'll watch that. Tesla, I had that gap up yesterday on the news of, must pay and so forth, the annual meeting, or not, whatever meeting they had, gapping up here. So this could be a 0 DTE. 5-10 minute high, if there's any juice under this closing pivot, yesterday's low. Boom, I just saw going by the ticker is all. What a gap breakout. We're watching Trump here, continuation breakdown. I always look at cruise lines and airlines. Nothing to do on the daily at all, but what got my attention here again is the monthly. The buy setup. But just like that other one, it needs time to set up. AIMD, little dollar stock, has some action. ARM. That's extended far from the 20, but bullish. Look at this SID. Gee, look at this power downtrend on the 15 and then the daily. Look at this 15-minute. Look at the weekly, the monthly. That stock is just getting hammered of liquidation. So that could be a day trade short, just continuation. MSM, I think, might have pre-announced, maybe. Gap down. Well, that's a mess. You know, we actually had this APA as a short in last weekend's letter. And I think it was under this red bar right here on June 7, and then I canceled it based on the deep bounce. And then I stopped watching it. But Wednesday was a sell setup with a range expansion reversal. And then a gap down yesterday morning. So see, here's my gap down yesterday morning. That would have been a very good 5, 10, 15-minute low short. The weekly, monthly. Look at that. It's horrible. So that I'm gonna watch. There's the 1, 2, 3. Gulf Delta, Sam mentioned as a short idea. GoDaddy from yesterday is a bear 1, 2, 3. After a breakout failure with a void, there's no juice for a call spread. Otherwise, that would be a perfect call spread idea over Wednesday's high. I think I have an alerted. Let's do it about 137.70. 75, don't matter. I set early alarms. Crocs, bullish. I love gap negated range expansions. And then you got a 1, 2, 3. So this pattern on Tuesday's close over these highs totally suggested it would go through that prior high. And now you've got, a minor bear sandwich. Really? So we can check puts then. On DXCM, I mentioned that's a short. AGR, I have twice. Ka, I'd hope we get an inside bar today. And we're going to do an MT live. I forget, it's in the books for bottoming patterns. This is a beautiful bottoming pattern now. Downside shakeout, going sideways for 2 weeks. Look at 3 tails. And then range expansion, closing breakout. All right, so I hope this inside bar stays inside bar. All right, go daddy alarm. You can short 5-minute low for day trade. That looks great. Short 5-minute low, 15-minute head and shoulders. Daily 1, 2, 3. Greg, you like that as a swing or just day trading? Tick negative 1350. Wow.
Definitely a spread thing. It could drop quite a bit, if the market is at a point here where it's going to correct further, it could drag it down. It's worth, hey, let the stop above the wide range bar and let's see what happens.
All right, DXCM. All right, let's DXCM's a go. We were talking about doing half yesterday. Don, my put spread because of the friggin' idiot spreads. My 232 and a quarter put spread on Romeo Hotel is a credit, a credit of 40 cents. Crazy. I'm gonna bid a quarter. I'm just kind of spitballing. All right, look at this UNP. Beautiful, beautiful in the big base. Now let's move stop over this. About 222.72. DJT, low alarm triggered. Hood, up alarm. Wow. All right, we got to roll our covered call on that to next week. Hood. Yeah, we got core long in this.
D dog could be a call spread up into resistance. Could even be a directional, but definitely should look a call spread.
For next week. Trust that?
Yeah, it would have to be next week. I didn't look at the premiums, assuming there's something maybe at 124. I remember we were looking at this when it was down there and when the market
No,
took off.
8 cents by 44.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. You starting to laugh too.
I was kind of surprised because, a higher price stock trades decent volume.
Our whiskey Mike. I know, Don, that's what I'm saying. So I'm bidding a quarter. Yeah, value looks lower. Yeah, daily, weekly, monthly. And we talked about it yesterday. The weekly is greater than 100, but yesterday's topping tail is a continuation pattern. That's Adobe I'm gonna watch. See how far out we can go.
AMD for a call spread, Dan. We could do a debit spread or even short it under this neckline.
Adobe doesn't have enough juice for 0DT. Expected higher. Yeah, this thing's been trading chaotic, but yeah, AMD. I mean, Gossamer. Here, I'll give it to you. So see, we sold those calls for 52 cents. So that is perfect. We did that into the rally. Now we could buy them back. Actually, they're wow, they're 17 cents for today. So I'm not going to buy them back yet. I'll wait till later in the day. General Motors, though, we legged into the 49s. So that was perfect. That's deep retracement now. So those are going to expire at full profit. CDW, low alarm. Remember, I was saying this is not a no-brainer. We did a half lot. I guess I'm staring at this pattern. It's like it's a head and shoulders that can't get off the mat. So we have a half lot stop, still far away, 220.88, but on probation. HPE we have as a core long. I guess, you know what? Under today's low, let's leg into a call under 21.58. Three, cool. Let's do 23 and a half calls. Actually, let's just do it. Let's just do it right now. We get we're getting good juice right here. 23 and a half calls, 45 cents. Let's see, option traders, this is how we leg into covered calls when they get extended, just like I showed you on that General Motors and Hood. So this is beauty. You do the ROI, taking in 45 cents for a week. And that's what, a dollar, whatever, 80 away. That's amazing, amazing return of lowering our basis. Yeah, perfect timing. If I would say so myself. PME up alarm. Nothing to do yet, but what my interest was.
And keep an eye on Walmart for next week. So far, that's consolidating in a bullish trend.
Or yeah, looks higher. Walmart. Well, yields. I'm AD still negative 1400. Wow, I'm shocked. This Restoration Hardware that these puts are this juicy. APA I mentioned as a short, but I wish I saw it yesterday. Now it's chasing. AGR, we have an alarm. It's now a 1, 2, 3, 4. This said G I mentioned. Getting on board a moving train. CCL, no interest anymore. Oh, Trump triggered. Oh, that Netflix I forgot to watch. What the cat messed it up. Yeah, that's a beautiful pattern. Actually, now that I look at it, the gap up was not that big at all on the daily, even though I think it said it was up $6, $7. That's a beautiful breakout. Not all-time highs, but nice pattern right there. I wish one of you would have given me final warning. Right, this is old. Oh, wait. UNP new low. Nice. That was a beautiful setup. Greg's Michael Jackson, new lows.
Just keep averaging down. It'll be okay.
That's what I am been doing. Fiber, we did a put spread yesterday. It could now be a directional for Monday. Bye.